Hello and welcome to beautiful Newmarket, Virginia. Tonight, the 3-0 in North Division leading Newmarket Rebels take on the 2-1 visitors from Front Royal, the Cardinals. I kick it over to my partner Jack to give you the Front Royal Cardinals starting lineup.
Excited would be an understatement about this one, Andrew. This is the starting lineup for the Front Royal Cardinals. Leading off for Front Royal is number 33, James Green from Presbyterian. He's followed by Nick Dombrowski from Stony Brook College up in New York, followed by Jack Fitzpatrick from LaSalle. Batting cleanup is JoJo Montgomery. Keep an eye on him tonight. He is a player. Jackson Ko follows him from Hartford Community College. Then is Luke Monaco from Marist. Ty Machado follows him from Hartford Community College as well. Dominic Archilla from Wichita State will be batting in the 8th hole. And in the 9th hole, John Masson from Florida Gulf Coast. And pitching for the Cardinals tonight is Andrew Fierro from Marist as well.
And real quick, while Rebels are still warming up on the field here, starting lineup for the Newmarket Rebels. Leading off out of Embry-Riddle University, Zach Banks. He's out in center field. Batting second, playing shortstop tonight from Pensacola State, Maddox Land. Batting third, playing first place out of FAU, Jaden Ariel. Batting fourth, playing third base, David Pena. Batting fifth, the right fielder tonight, Joe Terranova. Batting sixth, playing left field, returning Rebel out of Goldie Beacom, Matthew Murphy. Batting seventh, the designated hitter out of Florida Atlantic, Jonathan Lopez. Batting eighth, doing the catching tonight, also out of Florida Atlantic, Dylan Murphy. Batting ninth, playing second base, he's a three-time Rebel, it's Jonathan Mallow. And on the mound tonight for the Rebels, out of St. John's River down in Florida, Gabe Barker. He's making his second start of the season after opening it up for the Rebels at Woodstock on opening night. He has completed his warm-up pitches, and he is ready to do battle with James Green, who's leading off for the Cardinals.
Excited to see how Barker will open this game up.
I think this is James Green's Cardinals debut. Gonna see a couple of those tonight. First pitch off the hands. It's gonna be a single. It was in that Bermuda Triangle on the right side of the infield between the pitcher, second baseman, and first baseman, and nobody covered first base.
Yep, another unfortunate play there for the Rebels, just like the previous game against Covington. Just some unfortunate placement there on the early.
Similar part of the field too.
Exactly. A little
Rebels
deja vu for the Rebels here.
Struggled with that spot. That'll bring up Grombowski. He fouls it straight back into the screen. Barker had a good first start for the Rebels before tiring a little bit and giving up some walks, which led to some runs right at the end of his appearance. Runners off. Pitch is down and in. Throw down to second is not in time. The stolen base for Green, making some noise in his Cardinals debut.
Dombrowski also in his first game for the Cardinals.
And Vieira, the pitcher, also making his debut. So at least 30% of the lineup for the Cardinals making their Valley League starts tonight. One's low and in. Beautiful night for baseball. We've been fortunate here in Newmarket at the start of the season. 3 games, 3 beautiful nights. If anything, maybe getting a little bit chilly towards the end of the night, but we'll take it. Ground ball to second. Mallow is over. He flips to Ariel at first for the first out. Green does advance to third on the play.
I think mission accomplished there. If you're Jambowski, kind of move the runner on second over to third, and now knocking on the door here in the first.
Excellent scoring opportunity for the Cardinals with only one away. And Jack Fitzpatrick stepping in. Curveball down and in.
Fitzpatrick also in his first appearance with the Cardinals, 3 straight.
And all at the top of the lineup.
Yes. Talk about thrown into the fire. Wow.
I think for the first time, we're not going to have any, at least initially, no debuts for the Rebels. I think every other game we've had a first-time appearance. Maybe we'll get a pitcher that's making their first-time appearance later in this one. That one misses up and away. Rebels have 30 players in town and active for today's game, and 29 of them have seen action.
Next man up mentality. Just do what you can and get everybody reps. It's a good little Valley League action.
That one was close, but misses for a ball. Not the end of the world there if you're Barker. Gives you a chance to get a double play and get out of the inning. JoJo Montgomery steps in for her first time at bat.
And I think walking Fitzpatrick there, that's probably the best case scenario if you're going to give up a base.
Yeah, no damage done in that act alone. Checks on him at first base.
Outfield's got to watch out here for JoJo Montgomery. He's a standout from Villanova.
First pitch to him is up and away for a ball. Barker did struggle a little bit with his control in the opener, mostly later in the appearance, but aimed to start here today. That one swung on and missed.
Montgomery's got a 408 on-base percentage in 2026 for the Wildcats. That's a really, really good stat, so he's not afraid to swing the bat and find his way to first.
1-1 is up and away. So Barker behind in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Fitzpatrick on first, Green on third for the Cardinals here in the top of the first. Good fastball swung on and missed. 2-2.
Got some free air conditioning down by the home plate umpire, man. He was swinging that bat.
Yeah, definitely some fan action on that one. 2-2. I thought it hit him. JoJo thought it hit him, but home plate umpire says stay put. It was close. If it did hit him, it just grazed his pants.
And Montgomery has a knack, to get found by pitches. He's been hit by a pitch in every single one of the games so far for Front Royal. Interesting stat there.
That's very interesting. Some of those guys are just ball magnets, though.
Trying to paint that.
Or they're good at kind of,
maybe leaning
within the rules, leaning into a pitch. Full count. Popped up on the infield. Ariel is under it, and he's going to squeeze it for the second out of the inning. That'll be a P3 for Montgomery. Nice job by Barker battling there. That'll bring up Jackson Kehoe.
And 4 RBIs already on this season for Kehoe, so Rebels infield better watch out here, get ready to make a play over to one of the bases.
Still runners on first and third, but now 2 outs. The fastball in the dirt. High fastball in and misses up and away.
It was played a little bit of hitting and pitching for the Fighting Owls of Harford Community College. Interesting. Yeah, he can do
Foul
both.
back. The Fighting Owls.
Fighting Owls.
I like hearing different nicknames for schools or minor league teams. Personally, a fan of the Portland Pickles.
That's a good one.
Too many just regular old Bulldogs and Wildcats. Give us something unique.
But the Tri-City Chili Peppers.
I'll take Chili Peppers. That's a good one. 2-1. Up and away.
I think there was a Trash Pandas. I can't remember the city that they.
That is it. The Trash Pandas is
Trash
definitely a
Pandas,
team. I do
yes.
not remember what city the Trash Pandas are out of, though.
We could go back and forth all day talking about crazy baseball teams, especially in the minor leagues. You got the Flying Squirrels of Richmond. I know that because I'm a Richmond native.
3-1. That was an off-speed pitch that missed inside, ball 4. The bases are loaded for the Cardinals, with Luke Monaco coming up to bat. Of course, the classic Lansing Lugnuts.
Lansing Lugnuts. Name.
So bases loaded, 2 outs. Barker playing with fire here for the Rebels, but at the same time, only 1 pitch away from getting out of it. That one's down and in. Fastball at 85.
Seen the trend of the Rebels, like you said, playing with fire early. They've been doing it in pretty much every single game at this point.
Rebels are 3-0, but in game 2 and game 3 trailed 6-1 early. Nice curveball in for a called strike. So yes, erased 5-run deficits in 2 out of their 3 wins.
That pitch there looked like Murphy had to stand up to grab it, but it breaks in and falls right into the zone for a strike.
Another nice curveball. We were talking about it before the game. Rebel starters struggled a little bit, had some bad luck that's mixed in there for sure, but relief pitchers have covered 20 2/3 innings with a 1.74 ERA and 27 strikeouts. So.
How about Adler Holtz last game? Just really impressive, knocking it out the park for the Rebels.
Swing and a miss. High fastball gets Monaco chasing, and Barker gets out of trouble. Front Royal Cardinals fail to score. Despite loading the bases, there were no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 3 runners left on base. We'll be back for Zach Banks in the top of the Newmarket order in the bottom half of the first in just a moment. We're back for the bottom half of the first inning here in Newmarket. Zach Banks leading off. Fierro on the mound for the Cardinals.
A good first pitch from Fierro. Just missed a little bit low, but that's a good tone setter.
We were just talking about Fierro's college season. How many innings did he have, Jack?
In 2026, he had 48 innings. In 2024, he had 19.2. But for 48 innings, boasting a 6.38 ERA, that's impressive, especially when you're playing against the likes of Vanderbilt.
3-0 on Banks. Yep, I would say that was a pretty solid spring, and that ERA was probably better than it looks.
Sometimes they can get a little bit inflated, especially
never
if you're playing
know.
against high-quality teams like Vanderbilt.
Yep, one bad inning even can sink your ERA. Unless you're a major league pitcher throwing 200 innings, you can maybe fight that off. 3-1 to Banks. That is ball four. Rebels have a leadoff man on in the form of Zach Banks. He's got some speed. We'll keep an eye on him over at first base. And that'll bring up Maddox Land out of Pensacola State.
Maddox Land's got a 2-game walking streak and 2 walks for him against Strasburg. Interested to see if he can keep that looking streak going.
Rebels draw a lot of walks.
Yes, they do.
Leading the Valley League in walks coming into this game. I know these guys want to hit, but they're not giving you anything to hit. You just got to take your walks.
That's a fundamental piece of baseball. If you can watch a pitch, you can win a game. And, these guys are, example A of it, really.
In Joe Terranova's case, literally, as he watched the pitch to
Exactly.
walk off. Game here against the
Express.
I was forgetting which game it was. I knew it was one of them. 0-1 on Land. Banks does not have a huge lead over at first. Check swing, wild pitch. Called a ball, and Banks is going to move up 90 feet, put himself in scoring position.
That's a no-doubter there for Zach Banks. That thing kind of popped out of the catcher's glove, and he was gone.
Yep, that one got all the way to the backstop. Lots of room behind home plate at Rebel Park. Say it's between 50 and 60 feet back there, probably. Maybe not quite that much.
Yeah,
It's a lot of room, though.
30.
0-2. I had 1-1, but might have been a delayed call from the umpire. Swing and a miss. That'll be strike 3. The Land goes down swinging. Bring up Jaden Harriel out of FAU.
That's a great start for Fierro. Kind of what you need to do to be able to bounce back quick after walking. A good runner in Banks.
Yep, helping himself out there. Not letting the ball get in play. Keeping Banks at second. He's stealing third. Called strike. Throw is not in time. Very close play down there at third base. Think that one could have gone either way. But Banks is in with a stolen base. Did not look like he had a fantastic jump, but the speed makes up for it, and he is safe. The Rebels have a runner on third with 1 out.
Definitely a very close call there, and some Front Royal fans are not too pleased about it.
Called strike. Lower out of half of the plate. It's like Ariel politely asked a question about that one. So 0-2 on the FAU infielder, playing first base tonight, played third base. Rebels' last home game. That one bounces in for ball 1.
And Harriel's first game was against Covington on the 31st. And on 3 at-bats, he got 1 hit, 2 RBIs, and a walk. So very productive day for him in his first game with the Rebels.
Great defense out at third, too. Hard hit back to the pitcher, off of his glove, deflects. And Pitcher kind of distracted, holding the runner at third. Harriel is going to make it into first base with a single. Could possibly argue a fielder's choice with the look towards third, but regardless, he's on first base.
Yep, not really sure what happened there from Fierro. I mean, he kind of held on and took a long look at Banks, but I guess just kind of forgot about Harriel running to first. I would say you freeze them, you turn around, you deliver to first, and then they could monitor home from that.
I might have thought he had a little more time than he did, but he had bobbled the ball first. Kind of an odd-looking play, honestly, but not an error. It was a hard shot back up the middle that he knocked down, but then he didn't quite get it reeled in quickly enough. So Rebels will take it. Runners on first and third, 1 out. David Pena at the plate. Been on base a lot for the Rebels, but still looking for his first hit, if I'm not mistaken.
And I was just about to say, this guy has an extremely good eye. He did not play against Covington, but in the 2 games that he did in the 2 first games for the Rebels, he had 3 walks in each of them.
So 6 walks through 2 games played for Pena. A good lead from Harriel at first. Swing and a miss.
And no RBIs for Pena on the season. Let's see if he can get his first right here and bring it in Banks.
Rebels certainly looking for him to put the ball in play. Preferably in the air. Called strike 3. Nice fastball on the inside corner, and Pena is going to go down looking. Bring up Joe Terranova, the right fielder tonight, out of Southeast Missouri State. And going to have a conference on the mound for the Cardinals. Probably going to talk about what they're doing if Harriel is moving from first.
And you could hire Fierro to paint your basement, because he just painted that corner really close. Wow. And Pena looked like he couldn't believe it the second that one was called strike 3. But nevertheless, 2 away now here in Newmarket.
Yep, great pitch. And it caught Pena looking. So that'll leave it up to Joe Terranova. Both teams have had some excellent scoring opportunities here in the first inning. Front Royal was not able to capitalize on there. We'll see if Terranova can help the Rebels capitalize in the bottom half. Matt Murphy waiting on deck. First pitch to Terranova misses inside, despite some calls of yep from the Front Royal dugout.
And 2 straight hits in 2 straight games for Terranova. He had 1 against Strasburg and Covington. See if he can continue his streak to 3 tonight.
Chop towards third, be out of play. And as we mentioned earlier, had the walk-off walk against Strasburg in the bottom of the 9th. Rebels have already had a couple bases loaded walks this year, which tracks with the 30 walks, and they've also had quite a few hit by pitches, so lots of traffic on the bases without the benefit of a lot of hits. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Very emphatic fan down.
Yeah, some enthusiastic fans on the Front Royal side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To Terranova. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rebels get 2 runners on, but fail to score. After 1, it remains knotted up at nothing. We're back for the top half of the second inning. Front Royal back to plate. Ty Mercado leading off for the Cardinals. First pitch misses up and away.
And 12 home runs on the 2026 season for Hartford Community College with Machado. Got a big bat.
And we had a interesting team name submitted in the chat. The Fondudulac Dock Spiders of the Northwoods League.
Wow.
I would assume that Fondudulac is the town and then Dock Spiders is the name of the team. I like it. I wonder what the story is behind that name, because there's got to be one. Meanwhile, it's 2-1 on Mercado.
Hearing that made me think of the Morehead City Marlins in their they had like a little special event where they were called the Booty Divers for a couple of games, which is interesting. I've never heard a team called the Booty Divers.
I'm hoping that's treasure chest theme.
Yes.
Seems to be a theme with like the temporary name changes for like Star Wars night or whatever special theme nights minor league teams are doing. Full count to lead off the second inning for Mercado. Barker looking to avoid more traffic here. Nice curveball swung on and missed. He does so as Mercado goes down swinging.
Wow, and that was a full 180 swing. He was swinging for the fences there, but a great breaking pitch there. Sends him back to the dugout.
Looks like Barker's having better luck getting the off-speed stuff into the zone than the fastball. So he went to it there when he needed a strike and got the strikeout. Gonna bring up Dominic Archilla. Lefty on lefty matchup. And there's the curve again for a called strike. We do encourage you all to interact with us in the YouTube chat. We'll do our best to keep an eye on that. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to know about the Rebels or the Valley Baseball League, or if you just want to say hi. Archilla grounds out to first base. Jaden Harrell will record the putout by himself, 3 unassisted.
And that's a smart play by Harriel there. If you're a first baseman, I know that I would, as back in my first base days, when that ball's bouncing down your line, you want to rush to it and jump on it. But that one was bouncing, so he stayed back and stayed patient. That was a great play.
And we'll bring up Jonathan Masson, batting 9th for the Cardinals. First pitch to him is down for a ball. Fouled off.
And 2 walks from Masson in his first game with Front Royal against Culpeper on the 31st. Let's see if he can continue and start a little streak here walking.
In for a called strike. Looked like maybe a changeup from Barker. Don't have the benefit of a pitch list tonight, so we're a little bit guessing, but didn't have the loop in it that the curve has had, but we came in at a little bit of slower speed, so I'm guessing changeup. And that fastball freezes him on the inside corner. Barker works a 1-2-3 top half of the second inning. And we'll have Matt Murphy leading off for the Rebels on the other side of this break. And here is Matt Murphy leading off the top of the second against Andrew Fierro, who got out of trouble in the bottom of the first. First pitch fouled out of play.
And much like Banks for Murphy, 3 straight hits in the first games for the Rebels. Let's see if he can continue this streak tonight.
Murphy was a Valley League All-Star for the Rebels in 25. He can match that production this year. I think he's going to look even better with a lot more people on base around him. Rebels struggled a bit last season. Sun is setting, but still affecting players on the right side of the field. You can see the second baseman out there shading his eyes. Sets almost directly behind home plate, which is a big driving factor in the 7:30 start times. Brutal at around 6:30. Hard hit ground ball to shortstop. Fielded cleanly. The throw across is not in time. Pulls the first baseman off the base. That's going to be a throwing error on the shortstop. It's also going to prompt a discussion from the Cardinals head coach asking to consult with the umpires. And they will get together. Seems that front row's argument is that tag was in time on the shoulder. Could not tell from my vantage point, to be
Definitely
honest.
could not. This is where instant replay would be a huge, huge help.
Watching the replay now on YouTube. Hard to tell. Bang, bang play.
Still some discussion from that coach of the Cardinals.
That play does take place right in front of the Cardinals dugout. So they're really closer to the play than anybody other than the umpire. Brings up Jonathan Lopez from FAU, and he fouls the first pitch off. A lot of traffic on the bases early for the Rebels, but no damage done yet. Lopez is a good hitter at over 300 this spring at FAU and part-time action as a freshman, but did get quite a few starts.
And 3 of those 11 hits for FAU were doubles. So he's got an explosive bat.
Yeah, and 1 home run.
Yes.
Looks like I'm cheating and looking at Jack's sheet there. Stealing his stats.
It's all good.
Big lead from Murphy, dancing around at first. Stays put, and Lopez fouls that one off. Saw a little bit of that power on a foul ball in the last Rebel home game that had home run distance in the opposite field, but was just foul. It's rare to see that kind of power with college players and wood bat to be able to go oppo down the line and clear the wall, especially here at Rebel Park, which is not a home run friendly atmosphere.
And if I'm not mistaken, that foul ball, if it was maybe 10 feet to the right, would have been the first home run for the Rebels.
That is correct. No home runs through 3 games. Hit a couple hard balls that might have been home runs in different scenarios or different parks, but wind has kind of been knocking balls down here at Rebel Park. And then I think the furthest hit ball of the season was Matt Murchison in the opener at Woodstock, which was probably 340 feet right down the line, but it's 345 down the line. Check swing. Murphy was in motion. Doesn't matter as Lopez draws the walk. So Rebels have 2 on with nobody out for Dylan Murphy, the 3rd FAU player in the Rebel lineup tonight.
And Matt Murphy, not Dylan Murphy, on first was jumping and He was moving around, like all kinds of motion on those last 3 pitches, trying to just draw a throw down or something, but he finally makes his way over to second.
Murphy swings and misses. Dylan Murphy, that is. As we have Murphy on first, or Murphy on second, and Murphy at the plate. Dylan did not get any action for FAU this spring, but did hit over 300 in the Cal Ripken League last summer with a wood bat. So, sure, he's eager to get some swings.
And I have on my notes for Matthew Murphy and Dylan Murphy that there's no relation between the two, because when I first started taking notes, I was like, those two must be brothers.
I believe Dylan does have a brother that plays baseball and maybe preceded him at FAU.
He's the younger brother of Tyler Murphy.
But considers himself the Big Murph.
Big Murph.
And Murphy is picked off of second base.
Hope that dancing from Murphy that he was doing at first finally caught up to him at second as he gets caught in the middle and stuck in a pickle.
Yeah, the dancing continued, and in this case did not play out in the Rebels' favor, as he was picked off quite easily between second and third. Now, that's an out on the bases.
And that takes away the runner in scoring position for the Rebels. That's a tough out to take right there in this point of the inning.
Yeah, can't imagine Coach Shepard was happy with that one. Meanwhile, 2-1 on the other Murphy. Swing and a miss. Two and two, Lopez over at first. He has not shown any inclination to dance around or steal a base so far. Don't believe he had any this spring either. That one's looped into right field, should be down for a hit, and it is. Takes a weird kick and gets past the right fielder. Murphy's gonna cruise into second. Lopez is gonna hold up at third. That'll be a double for Dylan Murphy. He gets the benefit of the doubt on a sunball out there. Right fielder Montgomery was frozen in place, did not see it. And then when he finally did see it, it took a funny kick to the right, our right, his left.
And your first hit of the season for the Rebels, it's a double. Welcome to New Market. That's great.
Absolutely. Extra bases. Brings up Jonathan Mallow, third-year Rebel out of Potomac State. I believe he is transferring to Mount St. Mary's for next year. Had a huge spring for Potomac State. Regular season batting average 460. With some power mixed in too, so. Definitely a good scoring opportunity for the Rebels. Takes that one inside. Zach Banks and the top of the order awaits after Mallow. That one's ripped into right field. And it's dropped. Another sun battle out there. That one's going to be ruled a single for now. RBI single for Mallow.
And that was lofted into the pretty much the exact same spot as Murphy's shot was. So a little deja vu there from Montgomery, as he had that one in his glove but just slipped out.
Sorry, I was catching up on my scorebook there. Thanks for covering. 1-0. That was a hard hit ball from Mallow. And again, the sun is tough out there at the moment. But Montgomery definitely a bit of a struggle in right. Perhaps understandably so. Mallow takes off for second. Throw is cut off by the shortstop. Pitch is also called a ball. That'll be a stolen base for Mallow. And that puts 2 runners in scoring position for the Rebels with 1 out. And Banks ahead in the count, 2-0.
And I just know Banks is itching to get on base and drive in a couple runs after getting left on third base in the first inning.
Absolutely. This one's popped up on the infield. I think it's going to get out of play. Might be in play for the press box. Unfortunately for us, catches the brick wall behind home plate. Talked about this in previous games, but that is the scenario that can get a ball into the press box. Not possible on the fly, but on the bounce off of the blacktop down in front of us. Happens about once every 2 years, I would say, on average.
Made me sit up in my chair a little bit. That thing looked like it was coming right to us.
We used to do the broadcast from the deck that's attached to the press box, and you really had to be on your lookout to protect your computer and such there. But as technology has advanced and we use computers now instead of the old-fashioned telephone line, and Banks draws another walk. We have moved indoors for the safety of our equipment probably 5 or 6 years ago, and we've stuck with it. Nothing like getting caught in a thunderstorm while you're calling a game with a laptop outside.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
So Maddox Land gets a chance to do some damage with the bases loaded, 1 out. Rebels have scored 1, and we are playing in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Speed all over for the Rebels with Banks at first, Mallow at second. Check swing on a high pitch is called a ball. A little bit surprised you didn't get a check to second base on that.
That was certainly very close.
Usually, if at all close, the catcher will ask for an appeal. Big swing and a miss. One hand came off the bat, and Land kind of looked at it funny, like, what did I just do?
Talk about 180. He was spun all the way around. He's swinging hard. I think I know what Coach Shepard told Land before this at-bat, and that's hit it out the park.
The Rebels would certainly take it. That he takes a curve for called strike 2.
And that is a great pitch from Fierro. Talk about painting corners earlier. He does it yet again.
One, 2 is high. Fierro has pitched probably a little better than the scoreboard would make you think at this point, with some tough luck on the 2 sun balls to right field. And a couple close plays that have gone Newmarket's way. 2-2 to Land. Low, but fouled off. Land at a Pensacola State in Florida. Freshman, got lots of playing time. And played well, hitting over 300. Two, swing and a miss, something off speed fooled him. And he is gonna strike out.
And that's a great pitch, and Land walks back disappointed, still looking for his first hit on the season.
First baseman,
That'll leave it up to Jaden Harriel with the bases loaded. Still a chance to do lots of damage here for Newmarket. That one's bounced in. Nice job by the catcher Archilla to knock it down.
And an out here for the Rebels would leave 5 runners on base already in 2 innings.
Certainly a stat that Harriel is looking to avoid. The 1-0 called strike. Nice fastball in at 87 right on the outside corner.
Painting with precision. How about that?
Yeah, he's hit that outside corner to righties pretty effectively. 1-1. That one was off speed and fouled straight back. Fierro doing a good job of battling and has got himself 1 strike away from getting out of trouble.
And that looked to go inside, trying to jam him in and forcing him to put it on the ground to maybe turn a double play here for the Cardinals.
Fierro's ready for the 1-2. That fastball at 91 is high. Looks like he reached back for a little something extra on that one.
Wouldn't be surprised here if Fierro tries to close the door on Harrow with maybe a little backdoor pitch.
Two fouled off over towards the batting cage here at Rebel Park.
It wouldn't exactly be a backdoor pitch because it's a righty on righty matchup, but maybe that outside corner.
We're ready for another 2-2 pitch. Low fastball, foul tip, secured by Archilla. Fierro does an excellent job working out of trouble here in the bottom of the second. Rebels do score 1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 front royal error and 3 runners left on base.
I didn't know that that was free.
James Green gonna lead off for the Cardinals in the top of the third. Rebels holding a 1-run lead. Curveball in for a called strike. Swing and a miss at another curveball. Barker's really finding success with that pitch.
He's making the Cardinals players swing all over the place.
Goes to the fastball there, misses down and away. Not a bad pitch, though.
Green looking for a second hit of tonight after that bouncing ball to second that he was able to sneak over to first in time.
And he is going to strike out. Swinging with the throw down to first by Murphy in time. Nice job there, taking his time, getting into a good throwing lane and firing down to first. Brings up Dromboski.
Yep, and Barker going to the straight off the head of the lineup and just taking care of business. Love to see it.
Didn't quite get on top of that breaking ball and misses up and in.
I think that's one of the first pitches that Barker's kind of missed the grip on, maybe missed a little curve.
That one's popped up on the infield. Pena is going to get under it at third base and pull it in for the second out of the inning quickly, 2 away. Barker efficient the second inning and so far here in the third after a longer first inning. He's at 39 pitches so far.
Looks like he's pitching in his 10s. He is crushing it so far.
Fastball foul back. Barker went 3 innings on opening night. Not fully stretched out as a starter yet, understandably. And most of the damage against him in that game came late as he was getting a little bit tired. But we'll see how long he can go tonight. Misses for a ball, 1-1. I think my guess would be the coaching staff would be super excited to get 4 innings out of Barker tonight. But who knows, if he's cruising, maybe we'll see even more than that. That curveball misses just outside.
And if they're looking for 4 innings from him, so far he's been killing it.
Yeah, just 1 hit allowed through 2 2/3. Nice fastball, misses just inside, or maybe a little bit down. Throw from Murphy got past Barker there, so brief pause in the action. Rebels wearing at this point what is their traditional home uniform. Navy blue tops, white pants, navy blue stirrups. Fouled away. New hats this year for the Rebels. Red bills, dark gray fronts, and blue on the sides and back.
I like him.
Good look, matches both the home and away uniform. For many years, the Rebels went with the traditional all navy blue cap. Stirrups, a fairly long-running tradition at this point.
Balls are flying all around Rebel Park. A throw from Murphy goes past Barker, and then a bouncing ball flies up in the air. We've got some action here.
So Fitzpatrick reaches on the full count walk, and that brings up Montgomery, who lines it into right field. Nice job by Terranova to flag that one down and get it in quickly to limit Montgomery to a single and keep Fitzpatrick at second.
And what an L9 that one was. That thing was moving to the outfield. And now 2 runners on for the Cardinals here with 2 outs. That's a silver lining. If you're the Rebels, you got 2 away. So just get one on the ground here. You can limit the damage.
Absolutely. Probably the hardest hit ball of the night for Front Royal.
I'd agree.
Nice curveball from Barker, but an even nicer take from Kehoe as it was low. Broke all the way through the zone and ended up kind of in the dirt. That one's lifted down the right field line and is going to drift foul. Ends up landing on top of the batting cage.
And JoJo Montgomery is no stranger to crushing baseballs around the ballpark. 41 hits for Villanova in 2026. He was one of their best hitters with a .328 batting average. Excuse me.
Nice curveball in for called strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rebel shortstop Eric Lopez out to deliver some balls to the home plate umpire. Maybe without a bat boy tonight. The majority of the Rebel bat boys all playing on the same Little League All-Star team that is still in action. That curve is fouled off.
That was a big swing there. If you don't like your pitch, you foul it off. And just fundamental baseball there. Good play.
Staying alive. Still 1 ball, 2 strike. Fitzpatrick out at second. Montgomery on first. That one's lifted down the right field line. Another one right into the batting cage.
And that is the second foul ball that has landed in right. I think it landed just shy of the batting cage, but right in that area. I mean, 2 straight foul balls from the same batter, that being Jackson Kehoe.
And all foul balls are yours or the fans to keep at Rebel Park. I see some little kids taking off to get that one. Umpire flinched on that one, but did not ultimately call it a strike. Just misses. Nice pitch from Barker. 2-2-2 across the top of the scoreboard here at Rebel Park. See Bruce Alger Game Center. Another one fouled back out of play. Named after longtime Rebels president Bruce Alger.
And Kehoe has 6 walks in 3 games. I mean, that's just an impressive stat, and he's doing it here. He's just fouling off his pitch, and he's waiting for, keeping a good eye on the outside ones, and he's getting a lot of walks.
Perhaps in a battle with Pena of Newmarket to lead the league in walks early on. Another 2-2. That fastball catches the corner, called strike 3. Barker works out of some trouble. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left on base. And we just mentioned him, David Pena awaits on the other side of this break. We're back for the bottom half of the third inning. David Pena going to lead off for the Rebels out of Indian River. Struck out in his first at-bat. Takes the first pitch from Fierro for a ball. I'm going to take a moment to welcome all the Front Royal fans who are joining in tonight. You know, a large portion of our audience is player families, parents. That one also misses outside. So we try to keep it as impartial as we can, being Newmarket fans, so everybody can enjoy. Two and 0 on Pena. Big swing and a miss. Fastball on the outside corner. That one in at 87 miles per hour.
Pena's probably determined to right the ship today's game after taking that looking strikeout in the first.
Yeah, frozen on a high inside heater that stayed in the zone. Swing and a miss at another fastball. That one looked like it was right down the middle.
I think Pena wanted that one back. He little check swing, didn't finish his swing fully. Sign maybe he wasn't very confident in that swing.
Yeah, looked like it would have been a called strike either way. Fierro working in the upper 80s, and we've seen him get up into the lower 90s when he needs it. Another check swing, field to first, 50-50, and they say he did not go. That one I think could have gone either way. Check swing so hard to call, especially we're directly behind home plate, so not an easy one for us to pick up on. Full count, and that is David Pena's 7th walk of the young season. He's going to head on down to first base.
And the walking continues for
Looks
Newmarket.
like the Front Royal dugout getting a bit of a stare down there. Maybe a warning? Home plate umpire just outside of the home plate circle writing something down in his notebook after giving the visiting dugout a pretty hard stare down. Didn't see any indication of a warning, but something was being noted.
Well, in the case that it is a warning, getting that this early in the game, that's going to be a interesting thing that we should probably keep our eyes on as this game continues. Let's see if Front Row coach will have some words with the dugout, maybe. Kind of keep it down.
Yeah, or who knows? Maybe it was lobbied toward the coach. That one's lifted deep left field down the line. Should be down for at least extra bases. Terranova heading into second. He is going to have a stand-up double. Looks like it bounced right about on the edge of the warning track in deep left field. Hard hit ball there for Joe. And the Rebels are cooking here in the bottom of the third with runners on second and third. Nobody out for Matt Murphy.
And that is how you bounce back from a first inning strikeout. How about that? That thing was corked. And 3 straight hits in 3 straight games for Terranova.
3-game hitting streak to start his time here in the Valley Baseball League. He's going to bring up Matthew Murphy, perhaps looking for some redemption after a mistake on the bases. And he rips that one to deep left center field. It's down, and it's going to go all the way to the wall at the 380 mark. Unfortunately for Murphy, the runners had to hold up, so he's only going to get 1 RBI. Great diving effort out there by Green, which ultimately probably saved a run, as the runners, as I mentioned, were frozen about halfway. Some hard contact here for the Rebels in the bottom of the third.
And Murphy's hitting streak now extended to 4.
Murphy is a hitter. He put the ball in play a lot last summer. Had played, I think, hit over 400 last spring for his college. So really taking advantage of the opportunity that he is getting here in Newmarket. Did not get to play a whole lot for Goldie Beacom this spring, but you wouldn't know it. The hot start here in the Valley Baseball League. Johnny Lopez gonna step in now, the FAU infielder, left-handed hitter with some pop. Looking for his chance to do some damage. Takes the first pitch for a ball.
And he had an RBI against Covington. Let's see if he can, again, start a streak here.
Reached on a walk in his first plate appearance. Nice fastball on the outside corner for a called strike. Like there may be some action in the Front Royal bullpen. Another fastball taken for a strike. Lopez behind 1-2 to Fierro, who's now up to 55 pitches. No action in the Newmarket bullpen at this point, so it looks like Barker will get a fourth inning of work. That fastball bounced the outer half.
And there's no reason there should be any movement in that Newmarket bullpen because, wow, Barker's been putting on a show tonight.
Putting up zeros. Off-speed pitch. Lopez fights it off. Only thing there with Barker, maybe the pitch count. We mentioned not fully stretched out here early in the year. Rebels have kind of worked bullpen games throughout with no pitcher going even 5 innings. A couple relief appearances of 4 innings, but 2-2. Lined off the pitcher. That was hard hit. Lopez busting it down the line. But unfortunately for him, Fierro's body got in the way of that one. Trainer is going to come out and check on him.
And a great recovery from Fierro there. I mean, he got hit pretty hard. I could hear it from, at least where I was sitting.
He's going to feel that one.
Yeah, he's definitely going to feel that. Maybe a little
did
shock.
Get him on a meatier part of the body.
Yep.
Which is good for him. That's a little more scary off the shin or elbow. But kind of off the rear end.
Looks to be okay.
Hard hit ball from Lopez.
Looked similar to that shot from Harriel in the first that he kind of bobbled a little bit, but he was able to grab that one, recover, and fire it over to first just in time.
I think that one, if that one was 1 foot to the left or 1 foot to the right, it's probably a clean single up the middle. Unfortunately for Lopez, it is going to go down as a ground out. Here is Dylan Murphy with a chance to drive in Matt Murphy. First pitch is a big sweeping curveball in for called strike 1. Murphy singled to right in his first at-bat. That breaking ball stays high for ball 1.
That was mighty close. Looks like nothing even happened to him. Looks like a ball bounced off of his glove instead. I mean, he's completely unchanged by whatever just happened last at bat.
That first ball there, I think, is a situation where probably the catcher was reaching up for it. If fastball that he has his glove there initially to start, you're a lot more likely to get that call than the breaking ball that never really breaks. 2-1 on Murphy. Fastball swung on and missed. That one came in at 88 miles per hour on our press box radar gun. Seems about right tonight, but it has been registering a little bit on the slow side through the first couple games, we think, based off of kind of scouting reports for some of the Rebel pitchers coming in and what velocity is reading Getting that one ripped into right center field. It should drive in 2. Murphy's going to dig for second. Headlong dive. He's in there with a double. Kind of an awkward slide as he maybe went a little too hard into the base, but looks like he's going to be okay. Another case where a runner from second is unable to score on a double because of the proximity of the outfielders. Wasn't positive it was going to get down. Rebels have pushed 2 runs across, and we may be getting a pitching change for Front Royal. There is indeed somebody heading in from the right field bullpen. We will take a quick break while we figure out who that is, and we'll be back with you as soon as we have that information. New pitcher for the Front Royal Cardinals is Noah Parks out of Keystone, and he's going to be greeted by John Mallow. Mallow hard hit single into right. Previous at bat. And to drive in a couple Rebels as we've got the Murphys on base, both second and third. Again, no relation. Dylan Murphy, Matt Murphy.
Let's see if Mallow can repeat history a little bit here, because these balls have been flying into the outfield this inning for the Rebels.
Front Royal does have the infield in all the way around here, trying to prevent the Rebels from scoring. Always an interesting call of whether to pull the infield in or not, as you do increase the chance of single getting through, but if it's fielded cleanly, you can cut the run off at the plate. Somebody burning some brush or something nearby as the smell of wood smoke is in the air.
A little campfire smell. Been on a summer evening.
Yep, fits right in here in the Shenandoah Valley. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mallow. Looking to put the ball in play. Hard ground ball off the second baseman's glove. There's a perfect example of what we were just talking about. That one gets into center field past the drawn in infield. It'll be a 2 RBI single for Mallow as both Murphys come in to score. 2 RBIs for Mallow on that one. And you got to think if the second baseman had been playing back, even though it was hard hit, he would have had a chance to field that. As it was, deflects off his glove into center field. And the Rebels have pushed 4 runs across here in the bottom of the third.
You talk about putting the bat on the ball. Wow, that thing was in a hurry and no chance for the second baseman who was creeping in, obviously.
Zach Banks now in for his third at-bat of the game. Shows bunt as the infielders were all playing back. Third baseman is now going to stay on the fringe. Big swing and a miss. The idea of a bunt has now been forgotten. 1-1. Keep an eye on Mallow at first. He is a threat to steal. Got a healthy lead over there. There he goes. Pitches in the dirt. Scooped nicely. Looked like Mallow beat the throw, but he is called out at second base.
That's just a great throw down by the catcher, and
that was a fantastic play as he short hopped the pitch cleanly and then made a great throw to nail Mallow. Close play out at second. 2-1 on Banks, grounded back to the pitcher, knocked down, has time, throws to first. In the dirt, gets away from the first baseman, Fitzpatrick. Banks will reach on a throwing error from the pitcher, Parks. He applied some pressure with his speed getting down the line there. Been some fielding adventures for the Front Royal pitchers tonight.
Front pitcher goes. Well, Maddox Land.
Maddox Land in to bat now. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Banks on first. We'll see if he thinks about stealing. Pickoff throw. Gets away from the first baseman. Banks is digging for third. He is going to be there without a throw. From where I'm sitting, that looked like a good throw from Parks that Fitzpatrick just failed to come up with. What did you think, Jack?
I mean, sometimes when you're trying to conduct a pickoff at first, maybe that pitch, that throwback catches you off guard, but I mean, just gets past him, and I mean, wow, and not even a throw over to third. I'm just surprised.
A lot of room back there behind first place, and when that happens, and Banks with his speed coasts into third, so quickly another runner in scoring position. And on third, so only 90 feet away, which brings a wild pitch or anything like that into play. Parks quickly ahead, 0-2 on Land, who is looking to avoid his third strikeout of the night. That one way up and in, almost hits him in the face. Nice job by Land getting out of the way.
Just a little bit outside there.
Just a little bit. Ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Playing in the bottom of the third. That one misses low. Like Parks is working in the mid-80s. 85 and 87 on his pitches so far. Jaden Harriel waiting on deck for the Rebels, hoping he'll get a chance here in the third. And 2-2 misses outside, so 3 straight balls after being ahead 0-2 for Parks.
And Parks did appear for an inning against the Culpeper Cavaliers, the 31st. And he did strike out 1.
And Land draws the walk. He will head on down to first, and that'll give Jaden Harriel another chance. Good speed on the bases for the Rebels, both in Land at first and Banks at third. Prompts Archuleta to come out and give some signs to the infield. I would be almost surprised if Land isn't in motion here. He's got a big lead. His feet are chopping. There he goes. Fouled off. I think Land had that one stolen if Harrell had not fouled it off. No sign of what the play was going to be for the Cardinals with the foul ball. I'm guessing they're just going to let him go.
That foul ball went straight to the coach of the Front Royal Cardinals in that dugout over there.
Another big lead. Long pause. Land started to go and stopped on that one. I think he didn't feel like he had a good jump. Cardinals bullpen is quiet now. Still a big lead from Land. And Harrell goes down swinging on 3 pitches. Rebels score 4 runs on 4 hits. There were 2 Front Royal errors and 2 runners left on base. Luke Monaco will lead off for the Cardinals in the top half of the 4th, looking to put a dent into the Rebels' 5-run lead. And it is 9:01 Eastern Time as we start play here in the top half of the 4th inning. Hour and a half to play the first 3 innings here at Rebel Park. A little envious of those of you watching across the United States in different time zones. Going to be a late one here at Rebel Park. First pitch to Monaco in for a called strike. Expect we might have some viewers from as far west as Arizona from the Rebel side of things. Rebel right fielder Joe Terranova calls Mesa, Arizona home. And speaking of, that one's lifted in his direction. Out into right field. It's going to fall between 3 Rebels who are all converging on the play. Tough play, but could have been caught. That one will go down as a single for Monaco, the 3rd hit of the night for Front Royal. And I would say 2 out of the 3 were a bit on the lucky side. So Barker's still looking good. 1 hit failed to make it to the infield dirt, and that one just out beyond the dirt and right. First pitch to Mercado, fouled into the net.
When you talk about viewing distance, Andrew, there will be or maybe some viewers from New Mexico, as a few players for the Front Royal team are from New Mexico Military Institute.
That one's hit hard into right field. Terranova drifting back, and he's under it. That'll be the first out of the inning on the F9.
Terranova has been a busy man this inning to start for the Rebels.
Terranova, mostly an infielder by trade, but played some outfield for Southeast Missouri State to get his bat into the lineup. And same thing here in Newmarket, playing a little bit of right field to get his bat into the lineup. First pitch here, fouled off. Pena tried to get to it over towards the Rebel dugout, but could not get there, so it falls safely for strike one.
Pena was going so hard for that one, his hat flew off.
That one's was like borderline, could have made a play, but would have been dangerous because you're diving almost into the fence. So understandable that he did not leave his feet. Barker is ahead 0-1. Monaco over at first. Called strike on a curveball, 0-2. Starting to get a little action in the pen for the Rebels. That one's fouled off down the third base line.
Darchell already has 2 doubles on this young campaign, and he went back-to-back against Purcellville and Woodstock in the first 2 games of the season. So pretty good hitter in the Wichita State catcher and outfielder.
I believe it is for 18, Aiden Jacobs up in the bullpen. Right-handed pitcher out of Northeast Mississippi. That one's bounced way out in front of the plate. Murphy actually did a great job knocking it down, but gets far enough away from him to advance the runner on the wild pitch.
I was about to say Murphy did a great job there. Quick instincts, stepping up and blocking that with his chest protector.
That was one where it looked like it was probably a fastball that bounced in front of the plate. That's, as a catcher, you don't expect that pitch to be in the dirt. And then that far out in front, it's hard to know where the bounce is going to take it. Hit hard into center field. Banks is going to get there. Nice catch. Will be deep enough to advance the runner. So F8 for Archilla, and Monaco advances to third on the play. Bring up Jonathan Mason with 2 outs. Chance to drive in a run if he can hit safely for the Cardinals. First pitch is a nice curveball in for a called strike. Barker settled in and has been in the zone ever since the first inning, where he struggled a little bit with command. Nice fastball. Fought off and fouled off.
And the redshirt freshman still looking for his first hit with the Cardinals on this young campaign. See if he can get one here.
He's behind 0-2 to the lefty. Barker looking to get through the 4th inning, and we got time called. It was at the plate. Not sure if it was the catcher or the batter. I think this is probably going to be it for Barker if he gets out of it. That one, like a changeup in the dirt. Like Barker's probably fastball, curveball, changeup based on what we've seen today. Try to check in with the pitching coach when I can to get a little bit of a scoop, but There's a nice curveball for strike 3. So Barker makes it through 4 without allowing a run. Excellent start for Barker. We'll see if he comes back out for more in the 5th. As it stands, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. And David Pena, the walk king, going to lead off for the Rebels in the bottom half. We're back in Newmarket. Mountain is disappearing into the night out in right center field. And David Pena looking for his first hit despite 7 trips down to first base on walks on the young season. Takes the first pitch for a ball because why not?
And if you're Pena, you got to be a little bit frustrated. Like, come on, let me get one. But there's really nothing you can do. If you see a ball, you got to take the ball. So, I mean, we don't know when he's going to get his first hit, but all we can do is hope it'll be soon.
That one's outside. Parks still on the mound for the Front Royals. Came on in relief in the bottom half of the 3rd. And Pena is quickly ahead 3-0. Nice fastball in for a called strike at 88 on the outside corner.
If when you're up 3-0 in a count, you can afford to, kind of take that and kind of monitor the pitch and, see where it lands and spin on it.
There's ball 4. And the 8th walk for Pena in just 3 games played, and we are still only in the 4th inning of game 3. I think he also has a hit by pitch. He gets on base, if nothing else. Here is Joe Terranova. Talked about him a lot in the top half of the inning as he was getting action out in right field. Pena conservative lead over at first. Don't think stealing bases is a big part of his game, but we'll see.
And Terranova had that line drive to left field last inning, the inning where the Rebels really kind of had an onslaught going. So
high fastball for a called strike. Yeah, almost got all the way to the wall in the corner down and left.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that kind of kick-started the onslaught for the Rebels.
Certainly made a big part of it. 1-1. Throw over to first. Pena did not have a big lead, still dove back in.
And another errant pickoff attempt there. And Fitzpatrick had to contort his body to grab that one.
Terranova takes, misses just outside. Yeah, certainly a bit of a hold your breath moment for the Cardinals on that one, as it was a little bit of a wild throw. But Fitzpatrick did a nice job to reel it in. Misses high to Terranova, who is now ahead 3-1.
That's a great eye from Terranova there. A lot of these players in the Valley League love to swing at those high and up pitches. But good eyes on him to...
That fastball was right down the middle, and Terranova took a big rip at it, but came up empty.
Yep, a little bit lower than that last pitch. And that was certainly in his wheelhouse. He wanted that one.
Looked like a good pitch to swing hard at. Full count. Almost hit him, and he is going to draw the walk. Pena advances to second, and Matt Murphy's going to get a chance with 2 on. There is action now in the Cardinals bullpen. They've really made themselves at home out there with the pavilion set up, or the canopy top tent.
I think they thought the sun was going to be up a little bit longer than it was.
You never know what you're going to get out in that visiting bullpen. We've seen players grilling out there, all sorts of things over the years. Nice fastball at 89 on the outside corner for a called strike. Pretty good velocity from Parks here. Sitting in the upper 80s, maybe even touching 90.
He's not afraid to unleash it.
Check swing on a pitch that was up and in. Really almost in danger of getting hit by that one.
Yeah, it looked a little awkward the way that he turned around, maybe to try to get away from it.
Probably a little scary when you start to swing and then realize it's coming at you. Another check swing. This time, home plate umpire says he went, and I would agree.
Even from our perspective, which isn't the best, there's kind of no doubt that he went on that one.
Yeah, kind of falling forward. So Murphy's behind 1-2. Skies that one up behind home plate. That one might have a chance to get to us. Nope, too far back off the metal roof behind us. Made the fans behind home plate startle a little bit.
Got my hopes up there for a second. I might be going home with the baseball.
Didn't get a chance to mention it earlier, but pretty good home crowd for a weeknight here in Newmarket. Called strike 3 to Murphy. He goes down looking. Nice fastball from Parks. Getting back to the crowd, not a huge visiting presence over on the front royal side, but about half full in the reserve seating section and 3/4 full on the home bleachers. I think if the undefeated streak keeps going here for the Rebels, that fan base is only going to get more excited. Big contingent out in left field as well. Johnny Lopez now at the plate for the Rebels, left-handed hitting designated hitter tonight from FAU.
Yep, I'd like to find a historical stat line.
Pops this one up on the infield. Infield fly is called, and the shortstop secures it for the second out.
I'd like to find a historical stat line of when the last time the Newmarket Rebels were 4-0 to begin a season, and how that season ended for them.
I got a lot of stats in my head. That's not one of them.
Or Dylan Murphy.
Gonna bring up Dylan Murphy. Had a good night so far. Both behind the plate and at bat. First pitch is a high fastball for a called strike. I can recall a season where the Rebels, get this, started 0-10 and then won 10 in a row. So they ended up 10-10 halfway through the season after an 0-10 start. 0-1 pitch to Murphy is outside. Certainly would much rather start with a winning streak than a losing streak, but sometimes these summer leagues, the first couple weeks of the season, teams are not at full strength or not in their final form at least, so never know what you're going to get. 1-1 is way upstairs for ball 2.
Yep, and starting hot for a team is just so much better than, finding your legs after being down, to start the season. Being able to start hot, you get the wins going with all your guys, and it's just a great feeling.
A fastball misses low, almost in the dirt. Jonathan Mallow waiting on deck for the Rebels. Slick little play there from Eric Torres as the ball is thrown out of play. Fields it between his legs, one-handed. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets into this game at some point here. Swing and a miss. Count goes full on Murphy, which means Terranova and Pena on the bases will be in motion with the pitch. That's going to be ball 4. Murphy's good night continues. Terranova advances to second. Pena advances to third, and the bases are loaded for Jonathan Mallow. Top of the order, and Zach Banks waits on deck. Parks flirting with danger here. No damage done yet for the Rebels.
And if you're the Rebels, this is a prime opportunity to put a big dent in the possibility of a Cardinals comeback.
Big hit here, and you could even be thinking about a shortened game with a run rule. A couple years back, the Valley League did implement a run rule to help with pitching availability. That one's lifted into left. Gonna get down for a hit. 2 runs are gonna come in to score. Murphy is gonna hold up at second. That is a 2 RBI single for Jonathan Mallow. His strong start to the season continues. Terranova scores from second. Pena scores from first.
And talk about timely. Wow. What a hit by Mallow, and perfect placement there. Right in, I'd say it's mid, right near the third base line, mid left field. But I mean, perfect placement, great drop, and no chance really for the Cardinals there.
Yeah,
And
I would classify that one as a bit of a flare into left. Fairly hard hit, but kind of slicing down. Left fielder Grombowski really didn't have much of a chance to make a play. We are getting a pitching change for the Cardinals. We're going to take a quick break so we can get that sorted out. We'll be back with you momentarily.
From Embry-Riddle. Number 9, Zachary Banks.
New pitcher from York College is Jake Ludwig, and he's going to face off with Zach Banks.
Talk about being thrown into the fire. Wow, you're going up against a red-hot Zach Banks to start, but if anybody's got the tools to do it, it's Ludwig out there on the hill. 3.37 ERA on 42.2 innings pitched with the Spartans of York College.
Ground ball over to first. Takes a flat hop and gets past the first baseman. That is going to actually end up being a double for Banks, who is on his horse. I would normally say that that's a play that should have been made over at first base, but it looked like it took a real funky flat hop. Like it was hopping and then just hit and stayed flat and right under the glove into right field.
Number 12, Alex Lane.
That's the third run of the inning for the Rebels, the 8th run of the night. And Maddox Land is going to get a chance with 2 runners on. Swing and a miss at the first offering from Ludwig. That one misses low. I feel like Maddox would love to get a chance to swing the bat and do something productive here. Had some good at-bats, taking some walks, but you know he'd just love to get to put some lumber on the ball. Big swing and a fastball, but comes up empty, and he is quickly behind 1-2.
I think I said this earlier, but he's still looking for his first hit. I definitely think that he's a little bit impatient about getting some lumber on the ball here. He's looking for that first hit still.
Remain patient, though. He's still taking some walks. He's pinch ran. He's stolen some bases. He scored runs, so he's got production. It just hasn't come from making contact. But as we mentioned at the in the lead end of this, Rebels draw a lot of walks as a team. Sometimes that can be contagious. That one's lifted out into left field. It's going to be successfully reeled in by Drombowski for the 3rd out of the inning. Rebels score 3 runs in the bottom half of the 4th. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side. And Gabe Barker still on the mound here for the Rebels in the top half of the fifth. We weren't sure if his night might be over, but he's back out, and first pitch is in for a called strike.
And what a pitch to start it inside. Slams the door on Green. Just a great start for Barker.
Looks like when he came off the field, he consulted with the coaches, must have said, hey, I got some more in the tank. Let me back out. That one maybe showing some signs of tiredness, though, as he bounced it in the right-handed hitter's batter's box, but 1-1.
Those are some sacrifices you can afford with.
That fastball is straight back off of Murphy, who seems unfazed.
When you got nobody on, you can kind of afford to miss a little bit, kind of try to find your pitch. But when you got runners on bases, probably not the smartest thing to have happen. Smartest pitch to take and missing it.
That one is fouled off. Barker would love to get through the fifth here to give himself a chance to qualify for the win. For a game that is scheduled to go 9 innings, the starter must complete 5 to qualify for the win. Largely across the baseball world, wins and losses as a pitcher stat, losing momentum as far as value. That one's lined into right field, hard hit ball for Green. Clean single. He's now at first. Looking down at the dugout to see if that'll be enough or if Barker's going to get to keep going here.
Number 44.
Looks like a different pitcher up in the bullpen now. That is Ben McIntyre. Have not seen Ben in action here at Rebel Park yet this year, but did pitch in the opener against Woodstock. Couple very effective innings. 2-0 on Dromboski. I feel pretty safe in saying that if Barker does not get Dromboski, his night will be over. Curveball misses low. Wasn't a bad pitch, but was not a strike.
And Dromboski, one of the 4 players on the Front Royal squad coming from New York in Stony Brook, CAA baseball school.
Called strike. Murphy popping up like he was going to do a back pick over to first base. Thought he might have cost his pitcher a strike with that, but umpire stuck with it, calls it a strike. Green does look like he's thinking about running over at first. There's ball 4, so first 2 men advance for the Cardinals, and here comes Coach Charlie Shepard to make a pitching change.
You called it, Andrew.
We'll take a quick break while the new Rebel pitcher warms up, and we'll let you know which one of the Rebel relievers is headed in. We are back, and Ben McIntyre is the new Rebel pitcher. Our camera will be back for you momentarily. There we go. McIntyre, a lefty out of Embry-Riddle, can bring the heat. And indeed, that first pitch is in at 90 miles an hour, fouled off.
Benjamin McIntyre.
McIntyre throws out of kind of a funky arm slot. Not something that a lot of batters are going to be used to seeing, especially coming in at the low 90s out of that slot.
And sometimes if you're a batter, a little bit of an awkward kind of wind up, that can impact the way that you swing, the way that you hit. We see it a lot with Submariner pitchers. When you see a pitcher wind up and deal like that, it could kind of surprise you a little bit. So let's see how McIntyre does.
That one's grounded to shortstop. Takes a big hop to land, flip, throw to first. Not in time for the double play, but they do get the runner at second. Grombowski. So fielder's choice for Fitzpatrick. Green advances to third. Fitzpatrick safe at first. Grombowski, the runner, retired at second.
Good baseball play there.
Ball.
Executing the fielder's short.
Yeah, ball just wasn't hit hard enough to turn two.
It was mighty close, though.
Yeah, they gave it a good try, but
very close on that bit.
there was no error on the defense there, or no misplay. It just wasn't enough time to get the job done. 1-0. Low. Fastball is fouled off.
And the cleanup man, Montgomery here. Got to watch out. This is a red alert for the Rebels here because got a runner on third. A big hit here. You could really send that runner from first around to third, maybe home.
2-1 breaking ball. Check swing. Home plate umpire says he went. Looked like a slider or a curve. Now Ben has a fastball and a really good changeup. That one had some glove side action on it. Same thing, popped up to the pitcher. He drops it. It's gonna work out just fine for the Rebels as they are able to throw to second. It's a tough play for McIntyre trying to catch that kind of awkward pop-up on a broken bat. He failed to catch it, but had plenty of time to throw to second for the fielder's choice. That'll be a 1-6 fielder's choice. Green had to stay put at third as it was a pop-up that didn't make it to the pitcher's mound.
Yep, can't risk getting thrown out at home on that one. Just live to fight another at-bat if you're Green on third over there.
Can see how McIntyre would break some bats. Velocity, lefty, funky angle, getting in on your hands. Sitting right around 90 miles an hour. First and third. That fastball dotted on the inside corner for strike one.
Wow, that was right on the corner.
Rebels kind of expecting McIntyre to be their kind of ace lefty out of the pen. A lot of good arms down there for Newmarket, though. Called strike. McIntyre ahead 1-2 and one strike away from getting out of the two-runner on jam that he inherited. Big curve or slider. Strike three, swinging. McIntyre gets the job done. Does not allow a run to score. Front Royal, no runs, one hit, no Newmarket errors, and two runners left on base. We'll be back for the bottom half and Jaden Harriel in just a moment. Jaden Harrell going to lead off for the Rebels against Jake Ludwig.
And
First
Harriel,
pitch is a ball.
and
Sorry.
Harriel looking to right the ship after taking 2 straight swinging strikeouts. He did reach first the first inning on that missed tag play that a lot of the Front Royal faithful and dugout were not the biggest fan of.
Been a lot of close plays in this one, and the majority have not gone Front Royals' way. Would say there was a caught stealing that maybe was a break in their direction, but hard to tell in those bang bang plays when you're 150 feet away or so. Popped up. Caught by the first baseman Fitzpatrick in foul territory. P3 for Harriel and David Pena will get another chance. Looking for his third 3-walk game.
16, David Pena.
I'd like to see a stat on that as well. How many 3-walk games? I mean, are there out there? Like, I mean, how many can you get in a row?
I don't know. He's a big guy. Maybe they're just scared of him. Intimidating presence in the batter's box. Ahead in the count 1-0. Called strike 1.
Go back to that, those umpire calls. That's just kind of the peaks and valleys of baseball. And, winning teams, especially in the big leagues and even in the Valley Baseball League, they find ways to win. Winners win and losers lose. And even when you get a bad call here or there, you find a way to win. And that's what winning teams.
Agreed. Pena takes that one for a ball. It's 2-2, 1 out. We're playing in the bottom of the 5th inning. Halfway through this one, chopped over to first, could be a tough play. Pitcher's got to beat him to the bag, and he does so. So Pena will still be looking for his first hit. 3-1 on the putout.
Fundamental baseball there. Good play by the Cardinals.
Bring up Joe Terranova.
5, go. Nova.
Rebels in danger of their first scoreless inning since the first. Unless Joe can get something started here with 2 outs and nobody on base. That one's way upstairs, 2-0. And inside for a ball, 3-0. So far, not giving Terranova anything to hit.
That's one of those pitches that's right on the border there. You can only really sit and hope you get the right call from the ump.
Takes that fastball for a called strike. Skied, pop up behind home plate. Into the Rebel bleachers. That might have been loud enough for you to hear the clang as it came down in the metal bleachers.
Now that sound reminds me of my Little League days when all the batters would be late on the balls and foul them off into the stands, the big stands at the Little League ballpark. Kind of a universal baseball sound.
Ground ball softly hit to shortstop. Fielded on the run. Close play at first. But it is made in time to retire Terranova. The Rebels go down 1-2-3 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. We'll take a quick break and be back for Luke Monaco and the Cardinals in the top half of the 6th. Luke Monaco in for the Cardinals. Ben McIntyre still on the mound for the Rebels. A little surprising to me. I thought we would get a 1-inning parade of relief pitchers here, but McIntyre is going to come back out and go to work. First pitch is a ball, and there is no action in either bullpen, so it's like we are all set here for play in the top half of the sixth. This is low.
And 2 triples on 105 at-bats in 38 games played for Monaco of Maris, the Red Foxes. So interesting stat. He can really move around the bases there. 23 RBIs as well.
Breaking ball finds the zone for a called strike. Swung on and missed, or possibly foul tipped as it got past Murphy.
That's a big swing there from Monaco.
Looking to do some damage. Front Royal has a lot of work to do, trailing 8-0 in the top of the sixth. Called strike 3, nasty backdoor breaking ball from McIntyre. Getting the job done with that pitch.
Wow, he slammed the door on Monaco there. Wow, what a pitch.
It was a tight breaking ball. Probably started off 4 or 5 inches off the plate and then snapped right onto the corner as it got close. Really, that's a tough pitch to hit.
Those are the kind of pitches that take years to make.
Called strike to Mercado. Quickly ahead, 0-2 is McIntyre. And that fastball just a bit inside, clips him on the forearm or the wrist, and he's heading down to first base. Wasn't a whole lot of effort to get out of the way, but hit by pitch it shall be.
And in Ty Mercado's first ever start for the Cardinals, he will take a base on a hit by pitch. Interesting that there.
Here is Dominic Archilla. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Lefty on lefty matchup here. McIntyre hailed as bit of a lefty specialist coming in, so particularly tough on lefties with the kind of funky arm slot coming from the left side. Back up the middle, McIntyre smartly lets it go. Land fields it in time to get the fielder's choice at second. Kind of awkward where he fielded that ball to be able to tag second and throw to first and did not have enough time to complete the double play. So that'll be a fielder's choice. 6 unassisted to retire the runner at first. Brings up Jonathan Mason. Two outs, runner on first. Top of the sixth. Fouled at the plate. Rebels holding on to an 8-0 lead. 8 runs on 9 hits, no errors. Hard to critique much from the Rebels' performance today. Lots of zeros on the visitor side and lots of numbers crossed around on the home side. That one's a clean single into right field. Nice piece of hitting by Masson.
That's how you get your first Valley Baseball League hit in style. Good contact there from Mason.
We have very different spellings down for Mason or Masson here. Happened to be in the know on what the correct pronunciation is, feel free to let us know. I could see Mason or Masson. There are two S's. That one misses for a ball, 1-1. There is somebody up in the Rebel bullpen now. That one looked like it kind of slipped out of the hand. I think it may be Aiden Jacobs back up in the bullpen. He was up earlier. Can't quite tell. 2-1. Low and away, 3-1. McIntyre working himself into a little bit of trouble here. Behind in the count with 2 runners on. And he's going to walk him to load the bases. See if we get a pitching change here.
Yep, and if I'm Coach Shepard here, I'd definitely have a little conference because you're ahead in this game, 8-0, but letting the Cardinals back in, that is a no-go. You do not want to give them any light.
We do have a pitching change, so we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with a new Rebel pitcher on the other side.
McIntyre.
New Rebel pitcher is Aiden Jacobs out of Northeast Mississippi. First pitch, ground ball to third. It is lucky for the Rebels. There's a force out at third as Pena can just get up, step on the bag. And with one pitch, Jacobs is out of the jam thanks to a defensive gem over at third base.
Out and step on the bag there. Take all momentum that the Cardinals have and just flush it down the toilet.
We'll take a quick break and be back for Johnny Lopez on the other side. Matt Murphy leads off for the Rebels. Johnny Lopez on deck. That one, like it hit him in the helmet? Or did the helmet just fall off when he just ducking out of the way? He's staying put, so must not have made contact. It is a ball. Ludwig's still on the mound for the Cardinals. Had an effective bottom half of the fifth, looking to replicate that here in the sixth. Looks like we'll see Aiden Jacobs for a while for the Rebels. Big swing and a miss.
And that's how you bounce back from 2 rough pitches. I do see a little bit of movement out in that right field bullpen, that being the one of the Front Royal Cardinals. Ludwig.
Breaking ball in the dirt for ball 3. Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a pinch runner here if Murphy gets on.
Right.
Kind of at that point where you might see some substitutions with a big lead.
Mark, it's a team of many substitutions.
We've mentioned it a couple times, but 30 active players for the Rebels tonight. So there are indeed lots of options for Coach Charlie Shepard. Done a really good job so far getting all these guys playing time. A couple guys have been banged up, getting some days off. Murphy chases one in the dirt, strike 3.
Many subs, not exactly ideal for us broadcasters, but it's great for a team to be able to have that depth to.
Good way to make your scorebook real messy. Jack just showed me his scorebook. It is a bit messy, even without the substitutions.
It will
Here is
only get worse.
Jonathan Lopez taking a pitch for a called strike. Once again on the digital scoreboard, so no paper scorebook for me, but mostly works okay. Long foul ball. Just crossed the 10 o'clock Eastern time threshold and still only in the bottom of the 6th. Looks like we are headed towards about a 3.5 hour ball game. Two now on Lopez. Takes outside. Reached on a walk earlier. Had a bit of bad luck with a hard line drive that was off the pitcher's leg and fielded for an out. Takes another walk.
My notes do not deceive me. He also had that infield fly, but he takes another second walk of the night just now.
Rebels continue to be patient and draw a lot of walks.
Part of baseball.
Catcher from Florida Atlantic, number 24, Dylan Murphy.
First pitch to Dylan Murphy is a ball. Fouled straight back. Crowd mostly hanging in there still. Few people have headed home. Took off third to first, not in time. That one's up. Jack, you got some Dylan Murphy goodness over there? Some stats, maybe?
Well, I do. 4 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and 2 doubles. And his first 2 hits of the season were doubles. So he's no stranger to putting the ball in play. He's got an very explosive bat.
Extra base hits. Coming out of Florida Atlantic, pretty strong baseball school in the American Athletic Conference. Florida Atlantic, the Owls.
The Owls, yes. A lot of owls. I'm surprised.
Gotta say, owls are pretty cool. I live in the woods and every now and then get treated to an owl sighting.
Want to know something cool? Owls are actually my favorite animal.
Oh, we learned something new
I'm an
tonight.
owl guy.
Murphy draws the walk. Another good at bat for him. Get a little walk themed music playing in the ballpark.
Johnny Cash.
Second baseman. 2. Go!
Coach Shep over in third base consulting his lineup card. I thought we might start to get some of those substitutions we were talking about. But nothing so far as Jonathan Mallow steps into the batter box. He's had a productive night. Fouled back. Mallow's third summer in Newmarket. Chase is on that one. He's behind 0-2. I think across 3 summers, his on-base percentage is sitting around 400, so he's found a way to be productive, draws a lot of walks.
And 4 walks for Mallow on the season, and 4 for 7 at the plate. With 7 RBIs, that's an interesting stat line.
Gotten hits when the bases were full. 1-2 now. Zach Banks waiting on deck. That breaking ball is down and in to the left-handed hitting Mallow.
And Mallow 3 for 3 today.
Fouled off. Haven't done it yet, so we'll give a shout out to our producer tonight, Brandon Whitaker, behind the controls of our camera angles. Also providing us some of those stats that you hear as we go along. Sounds like Brandon's going to be making his commentary debut this weekend, so stay tuned for that. Lifted foul down the right field line, off the fence.
Don't usually see the baseball bounce off that really tiny, thin fence, but there it does.
Should have, this will be your kind of normal setup for your commentary team, but there will be some mix-ups throughout the summer with a few logistical things such as vacations, the birth of a child, and basically that sums it up.
Pretty
But
much.
might have a couple nights where you hear some different voices. And you might get a picture of a baby at some point on the broadcast. Mallow draws the walk. Good at bat for him. Rebels continue to apply the pressure here in the bottom half of the 6th.
Be sure to identify ourselves on the broadcast before the start of every single one, so you're up to date on
That's true.
who's up.
Number 9, Zachary.
3 straight walks. Now Front Royal digging themselves in a little bit of a hole here.
That gives Zach Banks an opportunity with the bases loaded and only 1 out. He followed that one all the way in as it was low and his head kind of bobbed.
Looked like he was ducking under a high pitch, really. He was going for that low one.
Takes that one outside as all of a sudden Ludwig struggling with his control a bit.
Do see movement in that front Royal bullpen.
Called strike. You have to keep in mind that run rule is a possibility here. 8-run lead. I believe the rule is 10 after 7. The Rebels push a couple across here. We could be getting an abrupt finish, but Ludwig all of a sudden finds the zone battling back. And I could be off on the run rule. We don't see that a whole lot, so.
I know that's the rule in college, but I'm not sure about the Valley League.
Takes that low breaking ball for a ball. Definitely a borderline pitch. Could have gone either way.
And like I said about the movement in the front Royal bullpen, that's 35, the righty Connor Graham from South Alabama.
Hard hit ball down the line. Did not get an indication from the field umpire, but appears to have been foul. It's nobody.
Yep, that just skated foul, barely, very, very close.
Rebels have another chance for a bases loaded walk. Not sure exactly how many of those have happened this season, but it has been more than you would
A
think.
surprising amount.
3 or 4
Yes.
already, so. That one's popped up on the infield. Should be an infield fly. An infield fly is called. Third baseman, or first baseman rather, did reel that one in. Which will bring up Maddox Land.
Well, he's got a chance to get his first Valley Baseball League hit in dramatic fashion here.
Absolutely. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Still fishing for his first hit, but not lacking in production despite the hit,
Definitely not.
or lack of hit. Flared out into left field, could be trouble. Shortstop is actually going to get there. He dropped it. That was a bit of an odd looking play. Appears to have been ruled a catch, even though the ball quickly ended up on the ground, but I see no argument. Perhaps he caught it and tried to flip it to his teammate or something. So the P6 ends the bottom of the 6th. There were no runs, no errors, no hits, and 3 runners left on base. Jack Fitzpatrick leading off against Aiden Jacobs in the top half of the 7th inning. That one's inside. 2-0 on Fitzpatrick. So far, Gabe Barker, Ben McIntyre, and Jacobs have combined to put up 6 zeros across the visitors' line on the scoreboard. 3-0 on Fitzpatrick.
And what a momentum booster it would be for the Rebels to get this combined shutout. Might I say, knock the wood here, knock on a couple knocks on wood just to, not jinx it. But I mean, what a pitching performance tonight for the Rebels.
Rebels have largely had very effective pitching across the first 3 games. That one's fouled back to make it a full count. I was looking at it earlier today, and I think it was something like 75% of the runs allowed came in 3 innings. So really, there were just a couple rough innings in each game that kind of bloated the overall numbers, whereas the majority, as we talked about with the relief pitchers, covering 22 innings and a 1.74 ERA, they have been very effective, and I don't think we've swing and a miss. Jacobs comes back from 3-0 to strike out Fitzpatrick. I don't think we have mentioned it yet, but the first weekly awards of the Valley League were announced, and Jansen Kinty, left-handed pitcher for the Rebels, was the North Division Pitcher of the Week. 3.1 innings without allowing a hit, striking out 7 in relief. Chopper towards third. Very smart play by Pena to let that one go foul. Had the opportunity to field it in fair territory, but would have had no chance.
And that's just baseball IQ right there. That's the thing that coaches want to see. That's the thing that scouts want to see. It's that you know the game of baseball, and that if you let it roll foul, that's how you can escape a clearly certain on-base situation.
Yep, super smart. You let it go, worst case scenario, it's a single, which it's going to be anyway. So I could tell that the coaching staff down there were impressed on that play, which happened right in front of them. Breaking ball in for a called strike. A lot of movement on that one. Oh, and 2, Jacobs ahead of Montgomery. Popped up to the right side. Looks like Mallow is going to call off Ariel and pull it in for the second out of the inning. P4. That'll bring up Jackson Cahoe.
And a relatively quiet night for Montgomery, but he sent that thing up so high, I was going to go into orbit, man.
Nice fastball in for called strike 1. Brings the count to even.
And Cahoe is a slugger. You usually don't see him watching strikes go by. That's a rare occurrence right there as he watches that first one. He's usually doing exactly that, which is fouling the balls off and waiting for his pitch.
That fastball was fouled off. And at 88 miles an hour from Jacobs, who is now ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one just misses for ball 1.
Really close pitch right there, right upstairs.
Fouled off.
Wish I had a counter for how many times he's fouled these pitches off. Because it's been a lot.
Absolutely.
Fouls his way to a full count after a 1-2 count. Fouled off 3 pitches, that's it, right?
I believe that is correct. Certainly a good at bat from Cahill. Close pitch. Jacobs thought he had him. Not called a strike, so that'll be a walk. And Luke Monaco will get a chance here in 7th.
That's Cahill's 8th walk of the season. I believe that ties Nina's, I think. Yes, it does. I'm getting the nod from producer. Oh, that puts him in first. Yes, it does.
That one misses for a ball. Two and 0 now. And 3 and 0. Called strike on the 3-0 pitch. Jacobs trying to battle here and not give up another free pass. He misses up for ball 4. Gonna get a visit from pitching coach Mark Davis. Conference on the mound before Ty Mercado gets his chance at the plate with 2 runners on. Around the Valley League, the Waynesboro Generals run and rule the Stanton Braves in 7 innings, 10-0. Purcellville Cannons have a 5-1 lead over the Charlottesville Tom Sox. Winchester and Woodstock are knotted at 6. Like that game is going into extra innings. The Harrisonburg Turks defeated the Covington Lumberjacks 9-5. And the Culpeper Cavaliers knocked off New Market Rebel rival Strasburg Express 5-4. Two out, 2 on. Mound visit is over, and Jacobs is ready to get back to work. Crispy fastball in for called strike 1.
And back to work he goes, man. That's a great pitch.
Seems like the mound visit was a success when that's the first pitch. That one's lined into center field. Banks reels it in. That's a highlight reel grab for Zach Banks. That was a lined shot up the middle. Banks had to leave his feet, but he reels it in for the 3rd out of the inning.
All right, AJ.
Put that thing on ESPN. Wow, he laid out for that thing.
Yep, put a star in your scorebook beside that one. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 runners left on base. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th after we stretch it out. We are back for the bottom half of the 7th inning. Jaden Harrell out of Florida Atlantic leading off for the Rebels. New pitcher for the Cardinals, Connor Graham.
Yep, as I said earlier, right-handed pitcher from South Alabama. Appeared in 5 games for the Jaguars, 2026.
Rebels have a fairly famous alum out of South Alabama. Major League All-Star and Gold Glove winner Brendan Donovan played for the Rebels out of South Alabama in 2016. Longtime Cardinal, traded to the Mariners in the offseason, I believe.
That utility player.
Plays all over the place. 2-2 on Harrell now.
And this is Graham's first appearance for the Front Royal Cardinals. What a way to start it. Wow.
Called strike 3. Harrell did not like it. But in that case, his opinion doesn't matter. The umpire said strike 3, so down he goes.
A little chirping of Harrell from the bench of the Cardinals.
And it is time for walk watch. David Pena.
Yet again.
He has to be on pace to break the Valley League record for walks. Swing and a miss.
You're looking for the hat trick. 3 walks tonight.
If you were curious, the Valley League record for walks, you have to go back to 2007, but this might be a familiar name. Longtime big leaguer Jason Kipnis holds that record with 49 walks in the 2007 season. Another fun anecdote from Jason Kipnis that year. He won the home run derby, but his name was announced incorrectly the entire time. They announced him as Kevin Butler for the entire home run derby, including when he had won.
Wow.
But it was, in fact, Jason Kipnis.
Wow.
Who had a long major league career with the Indians, Cubs, and probably a couple other teams. Kipnis played for the Covington Lumberjacks. Highest Rebel on that list, Seth Kivett in 2009. First pitch to Joe Terranova is a ball. The second pitch is a called strike. If you're interested in Valley League history, record books, and things like that, check out the website allthingsvalleyleague.com. Has the record books for the modern era.
Terranova looking to focus back up. He's had a relatively quiet night after that line drive to left field in third.
2-1 on Terranova. This is high for a ball. On deck, we have Matt Murchison out of UNCW. Entered the game as a defensive replacement in the top half of this inning. That one finds the zone. Strike 2. Always love to dig into some Rebel history. We'll get more into that. We got lots of fun facts, major leaguers. Swing and a miss, and the Rebels go down 1-2-3 in the 7th. Dominic Archilla will lead off for the Cardinals in the top half of the 8th inning after this break. We're back for the top half of the 8th inning. New Rebel pitcher out of Louisiana Tech, Caleb Short. Big, tall righty.
All is right, 6'4", from Little Rock, Arkansas.
One of a pair of pitchers from Louisiana Tech calling Newmarket home this summer.
He's a Conference USA Commissioner's Honor Roll. Something that I'll say is a lot of these baseball players, they're really smart. I've seen a lot of honor rolls, dean's lists, National Honor Society. I've seen a lot of that, and so it's good to see that these players can both dominate in the classroom and on the field.
Very true. So few end up making it to the big leagues, making a career out of baseball. Very small percentage.
Seen a lot of business administration majors, a lot of finance majors, a lot of good marks, a lot of good GPAs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's getting a little bit easier. Now we have Banana Ball, the Banana Ball League going on. More avenues for players to keep playing baseball.
And KJ Jackson, the Newmarket Rebels alumni, is a member of the Savannah Bananas, if I am not incorrect.
You hit that one right on the head. KJ Jackson was indeed a Newmarket Rebel. There's one other Savannah Banana, and I'm blanking on the name, but there are two that played in Newmarket, I believe in the same year.
They call it, a gateway to the majors. They call it that for a reason.
A lot of Valley League players make it, but that one's floated into center. It's going to get down for a hit in front of Banks and just beyond the reach of Maddox's land. Soft contact, but well placed for Archilla.
And that swing had bloop shift all over it. He wasn't swinging that hard. Looked to kind of almost take off before he even finished his swing. Almost looked like a softball swing in a way. But that lands safely into shallow center. Quick base hit for the Cardinals here. Nobody gone.
Leadoff man is on. Jonathan Masson up now. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Second pitch, also a ball.
A long pause before he delivered that thing. That was a moment of silence. Very quiet in the ballpark for that time.
Definitely getting quieter as the night goes on.
School night, you know. Well, not exactly a school night, but because school is out. But the work night, let's say.
Could be some kids here that are still in.
Maybe summer school.
Shenandoah County schools are out, but our neighboring county, Rockingham, today may have been the last day. They were in school this week, but 2-2 now on Masson. Runner on first, nobody out. Runner's in motion and the pitch is fouled off. Pretty good jump over there from Archilla.
Yeah, he was off and in a hurry. He was pretty much there by the time contact was made on that ball. Ball's foul. Or to think if that was placed as a base hit, he'd probably be rounding for third.
The old run and hit play. Swing and a miss, strike three, short. Fans Masson for the first out of the inning. Nice upstairs fastball.
And fans, a good word for it, and said it earlier, some free air conditioning, man. That was a big swing and comes up with nothing.
Starting to get a little chilly here in Newmarket too. We are in a sheltered position, but most of the fans wearing jackets or hoodies.
Let's start looking back to that Newmarket hoodie I got. Oh, whoa.
That was off the face of the Rebel dugout with a loud clang.
Not a big target, that dugout roof, but it ricocheted off of it.
Solid hit there.
Sharpshooter right there.
Wild Bill in the building. That one misses outside, 1-1. One fastball misses inside. Didn't miss by much. That one also misses. 3-1. Short, struggling a little bit with the control here. Runner's going. Ground ball to second. Looks like they called the runner out at second. I thought he was going to be safe since he was in motion. It was a rocket of a ground ball to Mallow, who flipped it to second. Would have had time to get the runner at first regardless, but they also get the runner at second. So it's a 6-4-3 double play to end, or 4-6-3, I'm sorry, double play to end the top half of the 8th inning. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back for Matt Murchison's first at-bat of the evening. Here is Matt Murchison leading off for the Rebels in the bottom of the 8th. Maybe looking for a walk-off win if they can push 2 across. Two and 0 on Murchison.
Murchison, 3 hits in all 3 games. Oh, excuse me, not all 3 games, but in the 3 games that Newmarket has played, Murchison has 3 hits. That would be 2 against Strasburg and 1 against Woodstock.
I'm going to say the one against Woodstock is still the hardest hit ball of the season for the Rebels. It was a rocket for a triple that resulted in the game-winning run. And he is on with a 4-pitch walk.
And the plethora of walks continues for the Rebels. Wow.
Designated Port Atlantic. Jonathan Lopez.
Here's Jonathan Lopez. Takes the first pitch for a called strike. Lopez with a chance to walk it off here if he could put one over the fence. Be the first Rebel home run of the season.
Definitely not easy in this ballpark with those pretty tall fences back there. The wood.
Murchison is in motion. Pitch bounces, gets past the catcher, hits the umpire in the mask. Ultimately fielded by the catcher And Murchison, who is in motion, is in safely at second. Trainer is out to double check on the umpire, make sure he's okay.
I had to walk that one off there.
Graham is saved from the wild pitch by the fact that Murchison was already moving. 1-2 to Lopez. Takes a ball.
Lopez also looking for a walking hat trick today.
Just working on pulling up the box score to see how many walks New Mexico has tonight. That one's grounded up the middle. Going to be fielded by the shortstop who throws across to retire Lopez. Murchison advances to third on 6-3 ground out. Dylan Murphy to get another chance.
4. Murphy.
And I'd call that mission accomplished for Johnny Lopez there, moving the runner over to third. Almost like a bunt that really wasn't a bunt.
First pitch to Murphy, swung on and missed. Fouled off, straight back into the catcher, it looked like. The Murchison walk was the 12th walk of the night for the Rebels. They came into the night leading the league in walks with 29. They also had 9 hit by pitches. So 12 plus 21 plus 9. That's 50 free trips to first base in the first 4 games for Newmarket.
That's insane.
Murphy grounds out to the pitcher. 1-3. And Jonathan Mallow is going to get another chance to drive in a run.
Jonathan Mallow.
So 41 walks for the Rebels in 4 games.
Insane.
Plus the 9 hit by pitches. 50 free passes to first base.
Whoa.
That had to have been catcher's interference.
Well, it's non-negotiable if the glove flies off. It's catcher's.
The catcher's glove ended up closer to the pitcher's mound than home plate. Even the Cardinals are asking for catcher's interference, as else otherwise it's going to be a single for Mallow. Weird play. I believe on catcher's interference, the runner at third would have to stay put. Doesn't appear to have been ruled catcher's interference. I guess it's a hit. A bit of a weird hit and an RBI for Mallow.
Fielder number 9.
Would have reached first base regardless, but
You don't usually see catcher's interference.
I don't know if that's a situation where you can decline the catcher's interference and take the outcome of the play, or I've never heard of that, but ground ball to third, fielded on a short hop. Banks is booking it down the line. He has beaten the throw. The ball gets past the first baseman. Mallow is going to come around, and that's going to walk off the Front Royal Cardinals as the 10th run of the game crosses home plate. So we're going to finish up in 8 tonight in Newmarket. Weird final sequence.
Your final score, Newmarket Rebels 10.
Jack, what do you think?
Cardinals 0.
I mean, that's a statement win right there. I mean, 4-0 now, extending their lead on top of the Valley Baseball League on the Northern Conference.
2-2, and
And I mean, I'm just a little bit shocked on how that game ended. But a win is a win, and a shutout, a combined shutout for the Rebels. And wow. And a walk-off.
Rebels will be back in action tomorrow night in Harrisonburg. I will warn Rebel fans, I believe there is a charge to watch their broadcast. So if you decide to tune in, I believe it is a $5 fee for that. Not many teams in the league are going to run into that, but they do have somewhat of a fancy system, and they do charge for access to that. So if you've been warned, but in action tomorrow night against Harrisonburg. We'll be back here Friday night for another home game, and also on Saturday night. So final line score from Newmarket: no runs, 6 hits, and 3 errors for the Cardinals. 10 runs on 11 hits and no errors for the Rebels. That's going to do it for Jack Hurlbert, and I'm Andrew Kipps. Good night from Newmarket. We will see you back here on Friday.